Welcome to this week's Retail Reality Check, where we cut through the noise and get straight to what's actually happening in the world of retail tech. This week, it's all about moving past the hype. Let's get into it.
And just a quick note, this week's check-in is brought to you by our friends at IHL Group. They're a top-tier retail analyst firm out of Franklin, Tennessee. You can and should learn more about them at ihlservices.com.
You know, Greg Buzek, the president of IHL, absolutely nailed the theme for this week with this quote. He says it's all about AI moving from just pilots to a scaled-up reality. We're talking real proof of ROI, way faster installs, and big-time retailers finally picking their main AI partner for the long haul.
And that's really the big shift we're seeing. We are at a turning point, folks. Things like AI, unified data, and automation, they're not just fancy buzzwords for a presentation anymore. They are actively driving the bottom line, and this week's news is just packed with proof.
So let's start right where the action is, the store edge. This is where we're seeing AI get put to work solving two of the biggest, oldest problems in retail: shrink and checkout speed.
And to give you some perspective on why this matters so much, check out this number. According to IHL, we are staring down the barrel of 178% growth in self-checkout over the next 2 years. That's explosive. And it means getting AI right at the front end is no longer a nice-to-have, it's a must-have.
So what does this look like in the wild? Well, look no further than Weiss Markets. They are rolling out Toshiba's AI security suite to all, and I mean all, 199 of their stores. This isn't a test. The system spots produce in real time and flags sketchy behavior at self-checkout. And get this, customer adoption is already over 94%. That is a scaled reality right there.
And Weiss isn't some outlier. IHL's data shows that over half, 51% of retailers, planned to be using computer vision this year. It's quickly becoming the new brain, the new control point for the entire front of the store.
All right, let's switch gears to frictionless commerce. For what feels like forever, cashierless tech has been this thing that's just around the corner. Well, the news this week suggests we finally turned that corner. It's hitting a tipping point and breaking out of those one-off concept stores.
What's super interesting is we're seeing two very different ways to get to frictionless. On one hand, you've got Amazon's Just Walkout, which is all about getting rid of the checkout for the customer. And on the other hand, you have 7-Eleven's new cloud POS, which is focused on making things faster and more efficient for their staff.
And let's talk about that Amazon acceleration. It's happening fast. They've literally doubled their deployments this year alone. Why? Because they've gotten the install time down from months to just weeks, and the hardware is way simpler to integrate. This is exactly what scaling looks like in the real world.
But what's the actual dollar value behind all this? Well, IHL's model shows numbers that are frankly staggering. The total impact of AI across just 215 retailers is projected to be $1.5 trillion. For Amazon alone, we're talking over $160 billion in extra sales. These technologies are literally changing the entire economic equation of retail.
Meanwhile, that new cloud POS from 7-Eleven, it's 80% smaller. And that's not just a fun fact, that is a strategic move. They're clearing the counter to make room for the next wave of tech, like computer vision and new ways to pay. It's brilliant.
Now, all this amazing innovation, all of it, is powered by one thing. And if you get this wrong, none of it works. We're talking about a solid foundation of clean, unified data. It's the engine under the hood for everything.
And we saw two perfect examples this week. In the warehouse, Dior used AR and smart data capture to slash their shipment verification time by 85%. 85. Then you have the fashion retailer New Look, who saved £4 million just by unifying their commerce platform. Both cases show immediate, tangible ROI from getting your data right.
Which brings us to another key insight from IHL. They call clean data a compounding asset. Think about that. The retailers who get serious about unifying their data are the ones who see the fastest and biggest returns on all their AI investments. It all starts with the data.
Okay, so we've covered AI at the edge, frictionless commerce, and the data foundation. But the move from hype to reality is happening everywhere. So let's do a quick, rapid-fire round to see what else is trending.
You've got Avery and Zebra making a big sustainability play with linerless printing. Land O'Lakes and Microsoft are building an AI assistant for farmers. Marks & Spencer is tackling decarbonization with its suppliers. And Tractor Supply is partnering up with OpenAI to get its AI strategy consistent. See, Practical, real-world innovation is happening all over the place.
Phew. Okay. So after all of that, what's the one big thing you need to remember? Let's do one last reality check to lock it in.
The takeaway is crystal clear. The conversation has officially changed. AI and unified data are no longer just future concepts. They have left the lab, they are in the real world, and they are delivering measurable ROI in shrink, in speed, and in sales. Period.
I'm terrified about the Abercrombie presentation because I don't have the right data to close the deal.
No problem. Just ask Greg AI.
This business plan is a nightmare. I can't find reliable forecasts for the total available market.
That's easy. Just ask Greg AI.
This sounds nice, but where is the total available forecast?
I don't have it.
You don't know? Try Just Ask Greg AI.
Stop guessing. JustAskGreg.ai democratizes elite analyst services.
We use real-time, proprietary data that doesn't hallucinate or just make stuff up. It's intelligence you can trust.
Get the data. Close the deal. Visit JustAskGreg.ai today.
So, as we've seen today, your competitors are moving past the sandbox. They are scaling proven platforms right now. So the only question left is, are you still just piloting?